Order. Bow your heads for invocation. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day and for the many blessings you have given our community. As we meet today, guide our thoughts and decisions and make our work be pleasing. In your name, I ask these things.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Got a full quorum. Approval of the minutes.
Move to accept.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All right. We don't have any presentations. We'll go straight into the agenda. Oh, got to approve the agenda.
No, it's ready for your approval, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Move forward.
All right. So moved. Now we'll go into the agenda.
Thank you. Good morning. First, we have a senior center donation from Robert Schenkel in the amount of $375. Staff recommends approval.
Move to accept or accept with a thank you.
Second.
So moved.
Next item we have is a series of animal services donations. Community Foundation of Greenville for $1,600, Donna Anderson $100, Kim DeRoma for $100, and John Kinney for a $100. Staff recommends approval.
Move to consent.
Second.
So moved.
Next is an independent contractor agreement with Goran Simic for Simkey Tennis Academy at Patriots Park. This is our tennis instructor at Patriots Park. We've had for several years that we ran out of renewals for that, so this is a new agreement with him. The agreement for this is that he runs our junior tennis program, which we retain all the revenue for, about 200 kids annually, about $16,000 of revenue. In exchange for that, he's allowed to run camps and lessons on the courts. So
Doesn't block any time for citizens. No issue.
it doesn't. We leave courts. He's designated X amount of courts for his lessons, and we leave other courts open for leagues and open play, stuff like that. It's worked very well. Staff recommends approval.
Move to consent.
Second.
Moved.
Next is our annual agreement with the YMCA for facility use. This is primarily for summer camp at Patriots Park Gym, but also for other holidays, Christmas and Thanksgiving usage. Estimated revenue is $6,637.50 through that time. Staff recommends approval.
This has nothing to do with space they lease from us at the,
Exhibition Center, correct. This is a separate agreement.
where does that stand?
I believe
They were
we
gonna build
renewed
something.
that last year, if I'm not mistaken. So that's got a few more years on that contract before it.
They were gonna build something, weren't they?
I think they have plans to.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, they're actually working right now with the team that's working on the project across from Patriots Park. So I've met with their new CEO, and they're looking to potentially partner with them and move all of the Y activities there. That's early in the discussion, but they are looking for other places to locate or potentially build something on their land behind us, but they're going through their fundraising efforts right now.
Consent.
Second.
Next is contract renewal number 1 with Event Staffing Specialists. This is primarily for the event staffing for bartenders, ticket takers at the Performing Arts Center. The Exhibition Center in Savannah Rapids also kind of piggybacks on this contract a little bit. The primary user is the Performing Arts Center, and so we'd like to renew that contract. Staff recommends approval.
Move to consent.
This is not the labor to support the events, right?
It is not the stage hands and not the, right, this is separate. This is the black shirts that you see when you walk through the door, mostly front of house help.
Move to consent, second, sorry.
So moved.
Next, we have the annual agreement with for library services for the Greater Clarksville Library System. In this, it contains the new budget amounts for the grants, as well as outlines the services provided. So typically, this is a year-long contract, but since we're moving to the single county region, this is only a 6-month, taking us through December 31st, 2025. At that time, we'll have a new service agreement with the new single county region at that point. Staff recommends approval.
Move to consent.
Second.
Next is our renewal number 3 with Alex Cooper, independent contract agreement for classes at the library. You can see the extensive list we have there. It is for $30 an hour for up to 30 hours per week, depending on the number of classes and length of classes. Staff recommends approval.
I know this has been successful. Data, any facts and figures? How many
Sure.
classes he teaches?
Yeah, we're getting about 1,600 participants per year, and it does continue to increase. Ms. Evans is working with Alex to expand his offerings, so it has become very popular, and we're happy with this contract moving forward.
I think I need to attend some of these classes. Move to consent.
Second.
So moved.
Last one is renewal number 3 for Outdoor Augusta. This is canoe, kayak, and paddleboard rentals at Riverside Park. We're getting about 2,500 rentals per year there. Our county revenue is about $7,500 per year, so we'd like to renew that. Staff recommends approval.
Move to consent.
Second.
Good morning.
Morning.
This first item is a request to purchase a Scott, a self-contained breathing apparatus compressor and fill station from Breathing Air Systems. Bids through procurement, and Breathing Air Systems was the lowest bidder, meeting our minimum specifications. The amount of $81,363.74 for the compressor fill station installation, testing, and training. Or the budget for this capital purchase was $65,000. However, we've saved a significant amount of money through some new systems for other capital purchases that we do. So we'll still come in well under budget even with this overage. This is a new additional unit. We're going to put it at Station 12 so that this will fulfill the needs of our training as well as fire suppression. And we're going to move the one that's there now over to 10 so that they can not only fill those, but it can also fill the scuba tanks, which is where our dive team is stationed. So staff recommends awarding the bid to Breathing Air Systems for $81,363.74 to purchase the compressor and fill station.
Move to consent.
Second.
So moved.
And this is my favorite item of the year. This is our agreement for services with Family Connections and the Burn Foundation of America to distribute proceeds from our annual boot drive, which this year was $76,719.06.
Wow.
Splitting that directly down the middle for those two amazing organizations. So staff would recommend approval of those agreements.
That's that a debate item? I mean, if they come, you should
You make consent.
move to consent, but then they come to the next meeting and you pass it.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we got that set up.
Second.
So moved. Any legal matters? Right into staff reports.
Sure, I have the response summaries and a year-to-date budget report available for questions.
Public comments? Close this meeting.
Services Committee meeting for Tuesday, May 27th. Having already given the prayer and pledge, we have a full quorum this morning with 3 members present. Gentlemen, have you had the chance to look over the minutes from the previous meeting?
Move to approve.
Second.
So approved. Do we have any changes to the agenda today?
Ready for your approval, Madam Chair.
Thank you. We'll move forward with it as is. Seeing that we have no presentation or consent agenda items, we will head directly into the debate agenda and begin with Mr. Schotter this morning.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to ask Mr. Prather to present these 3 to you.
Morning.
Good morning.
Stephen. The items this morning for your consideration. First item is a independent contract agreement with WSP. I met with May County Broadband Utility at their tower site on County Camp, Blackstone Camp, off Blackstone Camp Road, to assess some soil conditions there around the actual building that supports the tower. We don't know exactly what's going on. We think there's some subsurface water or some organics there that's causing some settling of that building. So I contacted WSP to be able to do some borings out there. This is that contract for that, so we can progress and figure out what we need to do to solve that problem. So staff recommends approval of this contract for $8,700 to be funded by broadband utility.
Move to consent.
Second.
So moved. Next one.
The second item I have for your consideration is change order 6 with Share Munimer Construction for the Racket Center. As you know, we opened the Racket Center on March 31st. Delayed start because of the hurricane and the damage. This is a large change order for a lot of work that was required out there on the existing part of the Racket Center from the hurricane. So fencing, courts, lights, the tree house, the pro shop roof. So we've done a lot of work. It took them a lot of time. Sidewalks, trees, cleaning. So we worked with Share Munimer to give them a go-ahead and to watch over them to do this work. Staff recommends approval of this change order, $169,842. Also is an additional 106 days to their contract.
This is done, right?
This is done. We have been working with insurance and FEMA reimbursement. So we've got a big chunk of this we think taken care of. So we're going to work with Sean and FEMA.
Second.
So moved.
Last item for your consideration is change order 7 with Share Munimer for the Racket Center. This is a deduction of the leftover allowances from the contract. So staff recommends approval of the deductive change order, $20,008.
Move to consent.
Second.
So moved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Water Utility, good morning.
Good morning. So the first item I have for you is an agreement with the Georgia Department of Transportation. When they repave or pave State Route 28, we have several manholes and valve boxes in the roadway. This would allow us to utilize their contractor to raise and lower those manholes. The cost is $41,000, and staff recommends approval.
Move to consent.
Second.
So moved.
Are we still on schedule to open that road?
Yeah, if you add in the weather delays, days credited for weather, we're still on schedule. They're doing well. We expect to be substantially complete around this time next year.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Clarify, Nathan's project is different from Kyle's project.
Right, but he said yeah.
I apologize, I didn't
No,
specify.
it's all good. I knew. I just brought it to the top of mind.
The next item I have for you is the annual subscription for Kayenta. That's our new billing software. Takes care of a lot of our in-house billing as well as intersync with metering and kind of how we bill for water. The subscription will go from July 1, 2025 to June 30, 2026. It's a budgeted item and the cost is $362,900.24. Staff recommends approval of this agreement.
We had a couple of hiccups with that software with payments being received online, I think, this month.
We did. So I hats off to our staff. They did a heck of a job. We had to go back and re-enter about 700 payments. Not a complaint, just a lot of effort. hats goes off to them. And we had a couple issues coming in. So we were supposed to be able to use our legacy account numbers to pay bills for that first round, and that did not work. So we had a lot of staff who took, double and triple calls. We were pulling people off of their typical job to answer phone calls, and they did a great job. It was tough, but I think we're on the easy side now.
Good. Well, thank you for your hard work. I noticed in the workload report, I think you had 600 more calls than this time last year. So I know that's a significant increase in volume, and great that. Were we going to waive late for the month of?
That's correct. So we're not doing delinquent cutoffs or late fees for this month, just knowing that there's some things that we've got to work out, some kinks that we're working on.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Vote on that?
I'm not sure.
Move to consent. Just making sure.
So moved.
Thank y'all. The next item I have is an emergency purchase of a pump from Flight. As for one of our wastewater plants, actually our largest wastewater plant, Little River. We had a pump fail this time of year with the rain. It becomes very critical for us to have all 4 pumps running at that station. Failed unexpectedly. And so we made the purchase for the pump. It was $198,949.20, and staff recommends the declaration of an emergency for this purchase.
Move to consent.
So moved. Last.
And my final item is a request for the purchase of a new compact track loader. The existing equipment is end of service life. It will be surplused. We were actually able to get this off of a Sourcewell contract for under budget. Budget was $110,000. We actually came in at $103,397, and staff recommends approval for the purchase of this piece of equipment.
Move to consent.
Second.
So moved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Morning, Mr. Titus.
Morning. The first item we have for your consideration is Ways for Cities Data Sharing Agreement. Not sure if you're familiar with the Waze app. It's similar to Google Maps. This allows staff to use a Waze upload tool to upload any lane closures or school zones, any identified impedances on traffic, and it allows that information to be shown on the Waze or the Google Maps. Before entering into the agreement, we had county attorney review it, and I believe it is palatable, would be best fit.
What is the legal never mind.
Staff recommends approval.
The state uses this. They've been using it for years. Put on the green. Come to go pound sand.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. At any rate, I know the state has, for a decade at least. Yeah.
Second.
I did have one question on it. Well, just a comment. It's interesting. Under the part that says build a smarter city, and it says uncover actionable insights about your city's traffic network by analyzing years of historical congestion, pothole crash, and other instances stored in Google Cloud. Could this possibly help the situation where the tractor trailer trucks get stuck on places in District 4 they get stuck? The railroad, yeah, where they get, will it pick up, or do you know if it'll pick up information, like AI information, and help alert?
I'm not sure. I know that this is for us to upload data, so if we know a traffic trailer gets stuck somewhere, we could.
We can absolutely note it on this. Now that we have this ability, once y'all approve it, we can upload that. But I do know that tractor trailers, RVs, they use a different mapping system
Yeah.
designed to help them make it. So we need to get the information to those companies as well. So this will be a good start, but we can work on finding who they are using for their navigation.
Okay, and you know where I'm talking about, okay. We had a motion and a second, so move to consent. Next.
This next item is the bid and contract with Reeves Construction for the Harding McManus Road Widening Project. We received bids in early March. The low bid came in at 43, almost 44 million, which was over budget. Staff has worked very hard with the T office, with county management, other departments on identifying ways to get this project funded. T office added an additional 5.2 million for inflation. There were some additional mechanisms we used. We approached the T office to fund the multi-use trail portion for the Harding McManus project out of the Each Creek All Remaining Phases project. We identified some stormwater funding in the project, the Harding McManus widening project, all to get within budget. We also negotiated the contractor down 5.6 million to come to the final amount shown, which is $38,165,487.05. Just over $2 million to be funded out of stormwater utility. The remainder to be funded out of Tier 2. 4-year project. Staff recommends approval.
Where do we stand? Buying of the land. I know you give an update every time we buy it, but
Harding McManus is closed. Yep, the right-of-way's been certified.
so once the contract is approved, when does it?
Probably 45 days, you'll see trees coming down.
Right.
They worked really hard. I want to give staff credit here. This was one that was extremely over budget, and rather than scrapping this project, they worked really hard and really turned over every rock. I mean, looked at different funding sources, got TIA to throw in some more money, did some value engineering. This was a long process to be able to get this project done.
Commissioner McMurray gave us extra money, did he not on this?
Yeah, we did. We had to work hard for it, but we did get some inflation money on this project.
I meant way back in the beginning of TIA
Not this one.
Perfect Farm Road.
Farm
Perfect
Road.
Farm, this is
Oh,
Harding.
excuse me,
Perfect Farm, we have 80 parcels left, and he did end up giving us about 45 million for that
Yes.
project.
right, which is nice.
It was very nice of him. He's a friendly guy.
Move to consent.
Second.
So moved. Next.
This next item is a bid and contract with Southern Asphalt for Tier 2 Group 5 resurfacings for the roads shown. The total bid amount is $4,030,602.58. Staff recommends approval.
Consent.
So moved. Next.
This next item is the bid and contract with E.R. Snell for LMIG 2025 for resurfacing the roads shown. Total amount is $1,553,074.88. The contract will have 180 calendar days. Staff recommends approval.
Move to consent.
Second.
So moved.
This is a renewal number 1 of contract 2024-2834 with International Appraisal and Research Group, IAR. IAR, they do cost cures, specialty reports, appraisals, septic reports for us. This is a renewal of their existing contract. They've done a good job with us on projects we're currently working on. This is no funding increases, no rate changes. This is just renewal of the current rate schedule. Staff recommends approval.
I know way back when, there was an issue with somebody we were using, everything's good now. Move to consent.
Second.
So moved.
This is a contract with Thompson Building and Wrecking for abatement, demolition, and removal of 4 parcels on Hereford Farm Road. These are parcels that we've already acquired the property, and we need to remove the structures still on the parcels. The total amount is $125,150 to be funded out of House Bill 170, which is the monies that you were referring to earlier from Commission. Staff recommends approval.
Move to consent.
Second.
So moved.
This is a contract with Blue Water Engineering for design services for the Wilkins Road Improvement Project. This is currently a rural road, 0.86 miles from Wrightsboro Road to its terminus. And this is basically a dirt to pave design to pave that road. We received 3 proposals, with Blue Water being the lowest, most responsive, in the amount of $9,400 to be funded out of TIA discretionary. Staff recommends approval.
Out of curiosity, when did you start looking at this?
Sorry?
When did you, I guess, start looking at Wilkins Road? That months or?
It was probably 6 months ago, probably just before the hurricane. We started looking at this, and the hurricane, of course, delayed it. And then probably 2 or 3 months ago, we issued a request for proposals from engineering firms. Along with the proposal to do the work, to do the design work, we asked for construction cost estimates and what it would take to pave that road. And the estimates provided by the firms averaged about $1.53 million to surface that road.
How long is the road?
0.86 miles.
We do own property at the end of that road that will be a park at some point that's already programmed. We have an access issue, so we may not be able to access it from Gateway. If we do, it may be extremely expensive, so this is an alternate route,
Okay.
Move to consent.
Second.
or additional route. I won't say alternate, it's an additional route.
So moved.
This is change order number 2 with Cranston Engineering for stormwater management, coordination, and supplemental design services for the Horizon Chamberlain Connector project. So Cranston Engineer was hired in December of 2023 to design the Horizon Chamberlain Connector. There is a development planned north of that project on both sides of the connection with Gateway Boulevard. And as we were working through, Cranston's original project had very limited stormwater design in their scope because it was just the roadway only. But as we were meeting with the developer, representatives for the developer, we realized the need for an integrated stormwater management solution. And this is a change order to provide a coordinated effort to make sure the development and the roadway have a stormwater management plan that's not disconjointed. It's combined. That way, if instead of the county having to take stormwater from Gateway Boulevard, send it off into separate stormwater detention areas, we're actually able to integrate that to where the developer is accepting some of our stormwater, we're accepting some of their stormwater, and so on down through the watershed. So it's just a coordinated, collaborative effort with the developer, and this is for Cranston, coordinate that on behalf of the county. The total amount of the change order is $34,710 to be funded out of the 23-28 SPOS project. Staff recommends approval.
Move to consent.
Second.
So moved. Next.
This is acceptance of permanent utility easements and associated sanitary sewer infrastructure for MP Maxwell Properties. This is permanent utility easements over existing infrastructure to serve property off of Industrial Park Boulevard. Staff recommends acceptance of the easements contingent on staff's approval. Questions?
Move to consent.
Second.
So moved. Last one.
And this is an abandonment of a permanent utility easement and the associated water utility infrastructure for Faith Outreach Church. This is off South Bel Air Road. The church constructed a new building at the rear of this parcel, and they relocated the services serving their parcel along with some neighboring parcels, and they'd like to abandon the existing water utility easement and infrastructure to serve their new building. Staff recommends approval contingent on water utilities approval.
Move to consent.
Second.
So moved. Thank you. Do you have any legal matters today? Staff reports.
Yes, so we have the year-to-date budget report as well as our standard staff report. We've got here to answer any questions.
Remaining obligation of water projects, 92 million.
Yes, sir.
A lot of money.
It is.
We have a lot of projects.
A lot of projects.
I'll be very busy for several years.
I don't have any other questions.
Okay, thank you. Titus?
Yes, so we have our projects, our roadway projects and roadway resurfacing report for your review. Happy to answer any questions.
The Stevens Creek intersection at Evanston Locks, that's gonna be a roundabout,
Yes, sir.
be a two-band three.
Yes, sir.
Any estimate on when that would start, and do those dollars hold?
We believe that we would see some inflation in those dollars, so we would get an increase from what's shown. And as soon as we're able to find the staff time to start it, we'll pick that one up, but we can certainly see if we can squeeze that in sooner rather than later.
In a band three, we would have to approach the citizen panel and get them to authorize advancing the project, but we can absolutely do that.
Yeah, I'm
That's
just
the design.
wondering out loud. Yes, so it's gonna happen.
Have any commissioners or public comment today? We have one executive session item. How would you like to proceed with that?
I wouldn't pass the reports. I recommend we move it to a motion, move it to the full board.
Second.
So moved. That's our last item. We will adjourn at 9:03.